Captain Hyunwoo Kim stepped off the transport pod and onto the gleaming metal floor of Galactic Council Station Omega-7. The air felt strange against his skin, too clean and filtered compared to the recycled atmosphere of his ship. Behind him, Dr. Sojin Park carried a small case containing samples from Earth, while engineer Taemin Lee whistled softly as he looked around at the massive alien structure. Dr. Veltar of the Nexari Empire waited for them in the main greeting hall. The alien stood barely 4 feet tall, with pale blue skin that seemed almost transparent. His large dark eyes studied the humans with obvious concern. When Captain Kim extended his hand for a greeting, Dr. Veltar stepped back quickly. "Please do not move so suddenly," Dr. Veltar said through his translation device. His voice sounded nervous. "Your movements are very powerful." Captain Kim looked confused. He had barely lifted his hand. "I'm sorry. I was just trying to shake hands. It's how humans greet each other." "Shake hands?" Dr. Veltar's eyes grew even wider. "You mean you grab each other with force? This is how you show friendship?" Dr. Sojin Park stepped forward slowly, keeping her movements careful and small. "It's gentle contact. We don't use force. Like this." She showed the motion in the air without touching anyone. Dr. Veltar made notes on a small device. "Fascinating. Your species uses physical contact for social bonding. This is highly unusual among civilized races." He paused and looked at his readings again. "Please follow me to the evaluation chamber. We have many questions about your world." The evaluation chamber was a large, white room filled with strange machines. Dr. Veltar gestured for the humans to stand in the center while sensors scanned them from all directions. Red lights blinked as data flowed across multiple screens. "These readings cannot be correct," Dr. Veltar muttered, tapping his devices. "Your planet's classification shows as Class 13 Deathworld. This is impossible." "What's a Class 13 Deathworld?" Taemin asked, genuinely curious. Dr. Veltar turned to face them, his expression serious. "Class 13 represents the most hostile planetary conditions possible for life. High gravity, dangerous radiation, extreme weather, toxic atmosphere components, geological instability, and aggressive native life forms. No intelligent species has ever evolved on anything above Class 8. Captain Kim shrugged. "Earth seems pretty normal to us. Sure, we have some challenges, but every world has weather." "Weather?" Dr. Veltar's voice became high-pitched. "Your data shows atmospheric storms with wind speeds over 200 kilometers per hour, temperature variations of 100 degrees between seasons, and precipitation that falls from the sky with enough force to damage structures. You mean rain and snow?" Sojin laughed. "That's just Tuesday on Earth. Sometimes it gets a bit windy during typhoon season, but we just stay inside and wait for it to pass." Dr. Veltar's hands trembled as he made more notes. You stay inside? You don't evacuate the planet? Evacuate the planet because of rain?" Taemin grinned. "Where would we go? Besides, rain is good for the crops." The alien scientist stared at them in silence for several long moments. Then he activated another scanning device. "Please demonstrate normal human reflexes. I will release this sphere. Simply try to catch it." A small metal ball dropped from the ceiling. Captain Kim's hand shot out and caught it easily before it fell 3 feet. The motion took less than half a second. Every alarm in the room started screaming. Dr. Veltar rushed to his controls, shutting off the alerts. "Impossible. Your reaction time is faster than our military enhancement suits, and you caught an object falling at 9.8 meters per second squared without any mechanical assistance." "It's just gravity," Captain Kim said, tossing the ball gently back to the alien. "Everything falls at the same speed on Earth. You learn to catch things as a kid." Dr. Veltar caught the ball with both hands and nearly dropped it anyway. "Your planet's gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared?" "Yes, is that unusual?" Sojin asked. "Unusual?" Dr. Veltar's voice cracked. "My home world's gravity is 3.2 meters per second squared. Most civilized worlds range between 2.1 and 4.6. Your gravity is more than twice what we consider the safe maximum for intelligent life." The humans looked at each other. Taemin spoke first. "So you're saying we're stronger than normal because we grew up in higher gravity?" "Not just stronger," Dr. Veltar whispered. "Your bone density, muscle fiber strength, cardiovascular system, and neural response times are all far beyond what we thought possible for a spacefaring species." Captain Kim sat down on a nearby chair. The metal frame creaked slightly under his weight. Dr. Veltar jumped at the sound. Please be careful. That chair is rated for up to 200 pounds of weight. I only weigh 180 pounds, Captain Kim said. Only? Dr. Veltar's eyes bulged. The average Nexari weighs 85 pounds. Our strongest military soldiers reach 120 pounds after years of enhancement training. So Jin pulled out her tablet and showed pictures from Earth. These are just normal scenes from our home. People walking around, children playing, families at the beach. Dr. Veltar studied the images with growing horror. These humans are exposed to direct radiation from your star with no protection suits? And they appear to be enjoying it. It's called sunbathing, Taman explained. Feels good and gives us vitamin D. And this image shows small humans in water? Kids swimming at the beach. It's fun. Dr. Veltar's device beeped frantically. Your oceans contain salt water? Salt water is highly corrosive, and these children are submerging themselves voluntarily. Swimming is one of the first things we teach kids, Sojin said. It's good exercise and important for safety. Safety? Dr. Veltar looked confused. How is exposing children to corrosive liquid safe? Captain Kim leaned forward. Dr. Veltar, what exactly do your people do for fun? The alien scientist thought carefully. We enjoy mild temperature environments between 18 and 22 degrees Celsius, with carefully filtered air and soft lighting. We appreciate gentle sounds and smooth textures. Physical activity is limited to prevent injury. That sounds like our hospitals, Taman said. Places where sick people go to get better. Dr. Veltar stared at them for a long moment. Then he activated his emergency communication system. Council Command, this is Dr. Veltar at Station Omega 7. I need to speak with the High Council immediately. We have a situation. The humans waited while Dr. Veltar spoke rapidly in his own language to someone on the other end of the communication. His voice got higher and more excited as he talked. Finally, he turned back to them. The Council has decided to conduct additional testing. They want to verify these readings before we proceed with standard integration protocols. What kind of testing? Captain Kim asked. Dr. Veltar's expression was grim. Our standard survival assessment trials. Every species must pass them before joining the Galactic Council. Sounds reasonable, Sojin said. When do we start? Tomorrow morning. But please understand, these trials are extremely dangerous. They are designed to test the absolute limits of what a civilized species can endure. Many of our own elite soldiers fail these tests. The three humans looked at each other and shrugged. Okay, Captain Kim said simply. We'll be ready. Dr. Veltar watched them leave the chamber, his mind racing. He had studied hundreds of species over his career, but nothing had prepared him for this. These humans treated their deadly home world like a pleasant garden. They moved through crushing gravity like it was nothing. They exposed themselves to radiation and corrosive chemicals for entertainment. And tomorrow, they would face trials designed to break the strongest warriors in the galaxy. He had a terrible feeling they would ask if there was anything more challenging. The Nexari military training facility on Kepler Station was the most advanced testing complex in the galaxy. Commander Ji-Hai Choi walked through the entrance with Dr. Minho Yang and Cadet Bora Kim, looking around at the gleaming walls and sophisticated equipment. The facility's director, General Zixtar, greeted them nervously. Are you certain you wish to proceed? General Zixtar asked for the third time. These trials have injured many of our finest warriors. Perhaps we could start with something less dangerous. We appreciate your concern, Commander Choi said calmly. But we're ready for your standard tests. Dr. Minho Yang adjusted his medical scanner. I'll monitor everyone's health during the trials. Just want to make sure we understand what we're dealing with. Cadet Bora Kim, barely 22 years old and fresh from Earth's farming colonies, looked around with interest. This place is really clean. Do you sterilize everything? Of course, General Zixtar replied, confused. Contamination could cause illness or death. Huh, Bora said. Back home, we work in dirt all day. Never really thought about it. General Zixtar led them to the first testing chamber. The room was filled with mechanical devices designed to simulate extreme conditions. This is the gravity endurance test. We will gradually increase gravitational force to 2.3 times standard galactic gravity. Our elite soldiers can endure this for approximately 10 minutes before requiring medical assistance. What's standard galactic gravity? Commander Choi asked. 2 meters per second squared, the general replied. So the test will reach 9.66 meters per second squared. The three humans looked at each other. Dr. Yang spoke first. That's slightly less than Earth gravity. Our homeworld is 9.8 meters per second squared. General Zixtar's expression froze. That's impossible. You're telling me your entire species lives under conditions that challenge our strongest soldiers? Every day, Bora said cheerfully. Though it's a bit lighter here. I feel like I could jump really high. To demonstrate, she hopped lightly and sailed 3 feet into the air before landing softly. The watching Nexari scientists scrambled backward in alarm. Please don't do that, General Zixtar shouted. You could have injured yourself. Sorry, Bora said, not looking sorry at all. Forgot about the low gravity. The gravity test was embarrassing for the Nexari. The humans walked around normally while the machine strained to create what they considered a light Earth day. After 30 minutes, General Zixtar turned off the equipment. Next test, he said weakly. Atmospheric adaptation. We reduce oxygen levels to 0.8 times standard atmosphere. This simulates high-altitude conditions or atmospheric failure. How high? Commander Choi asked. Equivalent to 3,000 meters above sea level on a standard world. Dr. Yang laughed. I grew up in the Himalayas. My village was at 4,500 meters. This is like breathing at the beach. The atmospheric test lasted an hour. The humans chatted normally while Nexari observers needed breathing apparatus just to watch safely. Bora even did jumping jacks to stay active. I'm getting a bit bored, she admitted. Is there anything harder? General Zixtar's hands shook as he prepared the third test. Temperature extremes. We cycle between negative 40 degrees Celsius and positive 60 degrees Celsius. Exposure time varies from 5 to 15 minutes per cycle. Oh good, Bora said. That's like winter in Siberia to summer in the desert. Nice variety. The temperature chamber activated. Nexari technicians monitored from behind heavily insulated barriers, while the humans stood in the center of the room. When the temperature dropped to 40 degrees, Bora rubbed her arms briefly. Bit chilly, she said. Reminds me of ice fishing with my grandfather. When the temperature rose to 60 degrees, Commander Choi loosened her collar slightly. Warm day, like summer military training in Arizona. Dr. Yang took medical readings on all three humans. Blood pressure normal, heart rate slightly elevated from mild exercise, no signs of distress. Exercise? General Zixtar asked faintly. Well, we're standing around in changing temperatures, Dr. Yang explained. It's like a very gentle workout. The fourth test was radiation exposure. The chamber filled with cosmic radiation levels equivalent to deep space travel without shielding. Warning lights flashed as the radiation reached dangerous levels. This is our most deadly test, General Zixtar announced. Exposure beyond 5 minutes can cause permanent genetic damage. What kind of radiation? Dr. Yang asked, checking his scanner. Cosmic rays, solar radiation, and background radioactive decay. Total exposure of 50 millisieverts per hour. Dr. Yang frowned at his readings. That's about the same as a cross-country flight on Earth. Maybe a bit less than working at high altitude. You mean you're exposed to this regularly? Commercial airline pilots get more radiation than this, Commander Choi said. And people vacation in places with natural hot springs that have higher background radiation. Vacation? General Zixtar's voice cracked. You expose yourselves to radiation for pleasure? Some people think it's healthy, Bora added helpfully. My grandmother goes to radioactive hot springs for her arthritis. The final test was multi-threat navigation. The chamber filled with obstacles, moving platforms, simulated predators, and environmental hazards. Nexari soldiers needed full protective gear and weapons to complete this course. Navigate from one end to the other, General Zixtar explained. Avoid all threats. Time limit is 20 minutes. Bora stretched her arms and legs like she was warming up for exercise. Should we run or walk? Whatever feels comfortable, Commander Choi said. It's just an obstacle course, the test began. Mechanical predators lunged at the humans from hidden compartments. Bora ducked under the first one and kept moving. A swinging blade aimed for Commander Choi's head. She leaned sideways and continued walking. Dr. Yang stepped over a pit trap without looking down. Are they even trying? One of the watching technicians whispered. Moving platforms shifted and tilted to throw off balance. The humans adjusted their footing automatically. Projectiles shot across their path. They timed their movements and walked through safely. Bora reached the end first in 4 minutes. That was fun. It's like the playground equipment we had as kids, but easier. Commander Choi finished second. Good reflexes training. We should build something like this for exercise. Dr. Yang came in last at 6 minutes, but only because he stopped to examine the mechanical predators. Interesting design, he told the technicians. The movement patterns are very predictable, though. General Zixtar stared at the timing displays. His best soldiers needed 15 minutes and usually suffered multiple injuries. These humans treated it like a walk in the park. Is there anything more challenging? Bora asked hopefully. Maybe something that moves faster? The Nexari staff looked at each other in growing panic. General Zixtar activated his emergency communication system and spoke rapidly to his superiors. Dr. Yang approached the observation window. Is everything okay? You all look worried. Worried? General Zixtar turned to face them. These tests are designed to break the strongest warriors in the galaxy. They represent the absolute limit of what any civilized species should be able to endure. They're good basic training, Commander Choi admitted. But they're not really that hard. Not that hard? General Zixtar's voice rose to a squeak. You just survived conditions that kill most soldiers. Well, Bora said thoughtfully, they're not as dangerous as harvest season on Earth. Ever try to operate a combine harvester in a thunderstorm while dodging hail? Now that gets your heart pumping. General Zixtar sat down heavily in his chair. The implications were becoming clear. These weren't soldiers or specially trained warriors. They were ordinary humans. The young one was just a farmer, and they had passed every test without breathing hard. What? He asked weakly. Do your actual soldiers do for training? Commander Choi smiled. Would you like to see some videos from our military exercises? General Zixtar considered this for a moment, then reached for his medication. I think I need to contact the High Council first. As the humans waited, Bora bounced lightly on her feet, still energized from the light exercise. Next time maybe we could try the tests at Earth gravity. That might make them a bit more interesting. General Zixtar's eyes rolled back and he fainted. The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened at 800 Standard Galactic Time. Representatives from 12 major civilizations appeared as holograms around the circular chamber, their various forms flickering with nervous energy. At the center table sat Ambassador Yoonji Lim, Dr. Woojin Park, and General Subin Kang, the only physical beings present. Council Speaker Thymus, a tall crystalline being from the Astral Confederacy, called the session to order. We have reviewed the survival assessment data. The results are unprecedented and concerning. Concerning how? Ambassador Lim asked calmly. She had negotiated through 3 international crises on Earth and remained unimpressed by alien bureaucracy. Your species demonstrates capabilities that exceed our understanding of biological limits, Speaker Thymus replied. We need explanations. Dr. Woojin Park activated his presentation device. I'd be happy to explain human evolution. It's actually quite straightforward. The first image showed Earth from space, blue and white with swirling clouds. Several council members made sounds of distress. Beautiful world, Dr. Park said proudly. This is our home. Those white formations, interrupted Councillor Vexhai of the Silicate Union, are atmospheric disturbances of massive scale. How do you survive such storms? Oh, those are just clouds, Dr. Teer. Park explained. They bring rain and snow, very useful for agriculture and freshwater supplies. Rain? Councillor Vexhai's rocky form shifted nervously. You mean precipitation falls from the sky without warning? Well, we have weather forecasts, Ambassador Lim said. Usually we know a few days ahead if it's going to rain. And you don't evacuate? General Subin Kang spoke up. Evacuate from rain? Where would we go? Rain is normal. We just use umbrellas. Umbrellas? Small portable shelters, General Kang explained, showing an image. You hold them over your head to stay dry. The council members exchanged worried glances through their holographic connections. Dr. Park continued his presentation. Earth has experienced significant geological activity throughout its history. Continental drift, volcanic eruptions, ice ages, asteroid impacts, magnetic field reversals, and climate shifts have all shaped human evolution. Asteroid impacts? Speaker Thymus's crystalline form rang like a bell with anxiety. Your world suffers regular bombardment? Not regular, Dr. Park clarified. Maybe every few million years we get a big one. The last major impact was 65 million years ago. Killed the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. Large, predatory reptiles that dominated the planet before mammals evolved, Dr. Park said casually. Some were over 40 feet long with teeth like knives. Dead silence filled the chamber. You evolved on a world with giant predators? Counselor Zeph of the Peaceful Collective whispered. Oh, we still have large predators, General Kang said. Bears, lions, tigers, sharks, crocodiles. Humans have always lived alongside dangerous animals. How do you survive? Intelligence, tools, cooperation, Ambassador Lim explained. Same way we survive everything else. Dr. Park showed the next slide. Here's a typical human city. The image revealed millions of humans moving around massive concrete and steel structures, vehicles racing between them at high speeds. Those structures are over 100 stories tall, Counselor Vexhai observed. Are they military fortifications? Office buildings mostly, Dr. Park said. People work there. And those moving objects? Cars, trucks, buses, personal transportation. They appear to be traveling at lethal speeds in close proximity to each other. About 30 to 60 kilometers per hour in city traffic, General Kang said. Pretty slow, actually. Highways are faster. You consider those speeds slow? Speaker Thymus asked. Well, compared to aircraft or trains, yes. Commercial airliners cruise at 900 kilometers per hour at 35,000 feet altitude. You travel through the air at 900 kilometers per hour? It's quite safe, Ambassador Lim assured them. Much safer than driving. The next image showed humans engaged in various recreational activities. This appears to show your species voluntarily exposing themselves to extreme danger, Counselor Zeph said weakly. That's rock climbing, Dr. Park explained. Popular hobby. People climb mountains and cliff faces for fun. For fun? Exercise and adventure. This one shows skiing, sliding down mountains on snow at high speed. This is surfing, riding ocean waves. This is skydiving, jumping from aircraft with parachutes. You leap from flying vehicles voluntarily? Speaker Thymus's form was vibrating rapidly. It's thrilling, General Kang said. I've done it myself. Great team-building exercise for soldiers. And children participate in these activities. Some do. Usually we start kids with safer sports. Dr. Park showed images of children playing. Soccer, basketball, swimming, martial arts, gymnastics. Physical activity is important for healthy development. Martial arts? Counselor Vexhai asked. Combat training, General Kang explained. Kids learn to fight hand-to-hand, good for discipline and self-defense. You teach your young to fight? Not to fight, Ambassador Lim clarified. To defend themselves and stay fit, though some sports do involve controlled combat. Such as boxing, wrestling, martial arts competitions, fencing. Athletes compete to test their skills. Athletes voluntarily fight each other? With rules and safety equipment, Dr. Park added. Usually. The next slide showed human occupations. These images show humans working in extremely hostile environments, Counselor Zeph observed. That's deep-sea fishing, Dr. Park said. Commercial fishing crews work on the ocean during storms to catch fish for food. And this? Mining, extracting metals and minerals from underground. That one shows construction workers building skyscrapers. They work at dangerous heights without protection? They have safety equipment, General Kang said. Hard hats, safety harnesses, steel-toed boots. That's protection? Basic stuff. OSHA requires it. OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, government agency that sets workplace safety standards. You need government agencies to prevent your workers from dying? Ambassador Lim paused. Yes, some jobs are inherently dangerous, but someone has to do them. Dr. Park showed the final slide. This represents human adaptation over evolutionary time. Environmental pressures forced rapid development of intelligence, tool use, social cooperation, and physical resilience. Environmental pressures such as ice ages lasting thousands of years, volcanic winters blocking sunlight for decades, coastal flooding from glacier melts, drought cycles forcing migration across continents, predator pressure from large carnivores, competition with other intelligent species. Other intelligent species? Neanderthals, Denisovans, other human subspecies. We intermarried and absorbed their populations. You absorbed them? Peaceful integration mostly. Some conflict. Ancient history. Speaker Thymus was silent for a long moment. Let me understand this correctly. Your species evolved under crushing gravity, deadly radiation, extreme weather, geological instability, giant predators, and competition with other intelligent species? That's a simplified summary, but yes, Dr. Park confirmed. And these conditions forged your physical and mental capabilities? Over millions of years of evolution, yes. And you consider your world pleasant? Ambassador Lim smiled. It's home. Earth is beautiful. You should visit sometime. Visit? Several council members said simultaneously. We'd love to show you around, General Kang offered. Maybe start with somewhere mild, Hawaii or the Mediterranean. Mild, tropical paradise, warm sunshine, gentle breezes, nice beaches. Councillor Zeph pulled up the environmental data on Hawaii. Surface radiation levels are lethal. Temperature exceeds safe maximums. Saltwater exposure would cause chemical burns. That's what humans consider paradise, Ambassador Lim said. The council chamber fell completely silent. Speaker Thymus's form had stopped vibrating and stood perfectly still. Council members, he said finally, we are facing an unprecedented situation. Humanity represents the first species we have encountered that evolved beyond Class 8 Deathworld conditions. Their baseline capabilities exceed our elite military forces. Are they a threat? Councillor Vexhai asked. They don't seem aggressive, Speaker Thymus replied, but their very existence challenges our understanding of biological limits. What do you recommend? Councillor Zeph asked. General Kang leaned forward. If I may suggest something, instead of seeing us as a threat, maybe consider us as partners. Earth has taught us to handle extreme conditions. We might be useful for exploration, emergency response, or security operations. You would share these capabilities? Of course, Ambassador Lim said. That's what allies do. Dr. Park added, we're also curious about your technologies and cultures. Peaceful cooperation benefits everyone. Speaker Thymus consulted with the other council members through private channels. After several minutes, he addressed the humans again. The council has decided to proceed with integration protocols. However, we will need time to adjust our safety standards and prepare our populations for human capabilities. Take all the time you need, Ambassador Lim said graciously. We're not going anywhere. One final question, Speaker Thymus said. What would humans consider a genuinely dangerous environment? The three humans looked at each other and thought carefully. Active volcanic eruption, Dr. Park suggested. Surface of the sun, General Kang offered. Black hole, Ambassador Lim added. Actually, Dr. Park said thoughtfully, humans have sent probes into volcanic eruptions and close to the sun. The human colony ship New Sol approached Nexari Prime with its cargo of 10,000 settlers. Administrator Jae-sung Oh stood on the bridge watching the beautiful blue-green world grow larger on the viewing screen. Behind him, Dr. Hee-jin Choi checked her medical supplies while farmer Dong-hyun Park reviewed agricultural plans for the new settlement. Looks like a nice place, Administrator Oh said calmly. Good climate data, plenty of water, fertile soil. Perfect for families, Dr. Choi agreed. The children will love having more space to play. Down on Nexari Prime, emergency broadcasts filled every communication channel. News anchor Viltar spoke rapidly to the camera, his blue skin pale with stress. This is not a drill. The human Deathworld survivors are approaching our planet. Government officials recommend staying indoors and avoiding all contact until military assessment is complete. In the Nexari capital city, millions of citizens watched their screens in terror. The survival trial footage had been leaked, showing humans casually walking through conditions that killed trained soldiers. Social media exploded with panicked theories about human invasion plans. They're super soldiers, Posted one user. They can survive anything. Why are they coming here? Wrote another. What do they want? At the spaceport, Nexari security forces prepared to meet the human shuttle. General Kickstar wore full battle armor and carried every weapon available to his species. His hands shook as he watched the human transport descend. The shuttle door opened and Administrator O stepped out, wearing a simple business suit. He smiled and waved to the assembled Nexari. Good morning. Beautiful day, isn't it? General Kickstar's voice trembled through his helmet speakers. You're not wearing protective gear. Protective gear for what? Administrator O asked, looking confused. The atmosphere. The gravity. The radiation. Oh, the environment here is wonderful, Administrator O said. Much milder than Earth. My people are very excited to experience such comfortable conditions. Behind him, Dr. Choi emerged, carrying a small child who had been sleeping during the landing. The little girl yawned and looked around with bright, curious eyes. Can we play outside, Dr. Choi? The child asked. Of course, Sujin. Just stay close to the adults. The Nexari security forces backed away in horror as more humans disembarked. Families with children, elderly people, pregnant women, all moving around in the open air without any protection. They're bringing their young. General Kickstar whispered into his radio. This must be an invasion. Farmer Dong-Hyun Park approached the general carrying a large bag of seeds. Excuse me, could you direct me to the agricultural planning office? I have gifts from Earth. Gifts? General Kickstar asked suspiciously. Seeds from our best crops. We thought you might like to try growing some Earth plants. Dr. Choi joined them with little Soo-jin still in her arms. This is such a lovely world. The air is so clean and the gravity is so gentle. It feels like floating. Floating? General Kickstar's sensors showed his heart rate spiking. You find our gravity insufficient? Are you losing structural integrity? Oh no, Dr. Choi laughed. It just feels light and easy, like being on vacation. More humans continued streaming out of the shuttle. Teenagers immediately started playing catch with a ball, laughing as they threw it higher than any Nexari could jump. The children ran around exploring while their parents set up temporary shelters. Why are they running? General Kickstar demanded. Are they fleeing from something? They're playing, Administrator O explained. Kids like to run around and explore new places. Playing? General Kickstar watched the children chase each other in circles. This appears to be combat training. It's tag, Dr. Choi said. A simple game. One child tries to touch the others. Very popular on Earth, touch each other. You mean physical contact? Gentle touching, Administrator O clarified. For fun. General Kickstar spoke urgently into his radio. Command, the humans are teaching their young combat techniques, and they're using physical contact as part of their training program. Meanwhile, Farmer Park had found a patch of open ground and started unpacking his equipment. He pulled out a sharp metal tool and began digging in the soil. Nexari civilians who had been watching from a distance screamed and ran for cover. Weapon, someone shouted. The human has a weapon. General Kickstar spun around to see Farmer Park, peacefully working the soil with his shovel. What are you doing? Testing the soil quality, Farmer Park replied, holding up a handful of dirt. Very good composition. We should be able to grow excellent vegetables here. You're farming? Of course. Food doesn't grow itself. Though this soil is so rich, it'll be much easier than farming on Earth. Dr. Choi had set up a small medical station and was checking the health of the arriving colonists. She filled a metal container with water and placed it over a small flame. Every alarm in the spaceport started screaming. Fire! Fire! Evacuation protocols active! The automated systems announced. Nexari emergency responders rushed toward Dr. Choi with fire suppression equipment. She looked up calmly as foam sprayed everywhere. What's wrong? She asked, shutting off her small camping stove. You were using fire, the emergency coordinator gasped. Open flame is banned in all civilized areas. It's just a stove, Dr. Choi explained. I was boiling water to sterilize medical instruments. Boiling water? Heating it to 100 degrees Celsius to kill bacteria. You heat water to 100 degrees? That's lethal. Not for drinking, Dr. Choi said patiently. For cleaning. Though we do drink hot tea and coffee. You consume heated liquid. Every day. Coffee, tea, hot chocolate, soup. Warm drinks are very popular on Earth. The emergency coordinator sat down heavily. You voluntarily consume liquids heated to dangerous temperatures? Meanwhile, the human children had discovered the Nexari playground equipment. The alien play structures were designed for the safety of fragile Nexari children. Soft, slow-moving, and very small. Little Su-Jin climbed to the top of the highest structure in seconds. It was barely 3 feet off the ground. "This is fun," she called down. "But it's really easy. Can we make it taller?" "No," General Kickstar shouted. "That equipment is rated for maximum safety." "It's pretty safe," Su-Jin agreed. "But it's kind of boring. On Earth, our playgrounds have slides that are way higher." "Higher?" Dr. Choi showed him pictures on her tablet. "This is a typical Earth playground." General Kickstar stared at images of children climbing structures 20 feet high, sliding down steep slopes and swinging on ropes over hard surfaces. "These structures would kill Nexari children," he whispered. "Really?" Dr. Choi looked surprised. "They're considered quite safe on Earth. All the playground equipment meets safety standards." "Your safety standards allow children to fall 20 feet? "Well, we have soft landing surfaces, and children are pretty resilient. They bounce. Bounce? Kids are flexible and heal quickly from minor injuries. It's part of growing up." By this time, news crews had arrived and were broadcasting live footage of the human settlement activities. The images showed humans using sharp tools, handling fire, exposing children to heights, and moving around in the open air without protection. Nexari citizens called emergency helplines in panic. "They're using chemical weapons," one caller reported, watching Farmer Park spray liquid fertilizer on plants. "They're training child soldiers," reported another, seeing the children play tag. "They're performing dangerous experiments," cried a third, watching Dr. Choi boil water. Administrator O approached General Kickstar with a concerned expression. "Is everything all right? Your people seem upset." "Upset?" General Kickstar's voice cracked. "Your people are using fire, chemical weapons, and training children in combat techniques." "Fire, chemical weapons, combat techniques?" Administrator O looked confused. "You mean cooking, fertilizer, and playing games? Your children are climbing structures that could kill them. That little playground? It's perfectly safe. Much safer than Earth playgrounds." General Kickstar activated his emergency communicator. "Command, I need immediate consultation with the Council. The humans appear to consider our maximum danger levels as mild entertainment for their children." "Understood," came the reply. "The Council is already in emergency session. Continue monitoring and report any escalation." "Escalation?" Administrator O asked. "Is there some kind of problem?" "Your people treat deadly activities as normal daily routine," General Kickstar explained. "Your children play games that would kill our adults." "Oh," Administrator O said, understanding dawning. "I see the confusion. What you consider dangerous, we consider normal. What we consider dangerous would probably seem impossible to you. What do humans consider dangerous?" Administrator O thought carefully. "Well, we don't let children handle high explosives or toxic chemicals without supervision. We don't let them drive vehicles or operate heavy machinery. We don't let them swim alone in rough ocean conditions. Children operate machinery on Earth. Teenagers learn to drive cars at around 16 years old. Younger kids might help with farm equipment under adult supervision. And swimming in rough ocean conditions? Dangerous because of strong currents and big waves. People do it, but they need proper training and safety equipment." General Kickstar's medical sensors showed his stress levels reaching critical points. "I need to sit down." Dr. Choi approached with a cup of hot tea. "Would you like something to drink? You look tired." 1 year later, President In-Soo Kim stood before the assembled Galactic Council in the newly constructed Human Integration Center. The building itself was a marvel of interspecies cooperation, designed to accommodate both the delicate safety requirements of alien species and the robust functionality humans preferred. "Council members," President Kim began, "it has been an extraordinary year of learning and cooperation." Admiral Young-Ho Lee sat at the military advisory panel, reviewing reports from the first joint human-alien exploration missions. Dr. Se-Ram Yoon occupied the new position of Director of Interspecies Survival Training, a job that had become surprisingly popular across the galaxy. Speaker Thymus, now speaking from a reinforced crystalline shell after several stress-related fractures, called the session to order. "President Kim, please present your annual report on human integration." "Gladly," President Kim replied. "First, let me address the concerns that arose during initial contact. Many species worried that humans posed a security threat due to our physical capabilities. Understandable concerns, Admiral Lee added. However, practical experience has shown that human abilities complement, rather than threaten, galactic civilization. Dr. Yoon activated her presentation display. Our survival training programs have been remarkably successful. We've had over 50,000 alien participants from 37 different species. Participants? Counselor Vexhai asked nervously. You mean they voluntarily subjected themselves to human training methods? Modified for alien physiology, of course, Dr. Yoon assured him. We start very gently. Basic environmental awareness, simple physical conditioning, elementary problem solving under mild stress. Define mild stress, Speaker Thymus requested. Room temperature fluctuations of 5 degrees. Light physical exercise like walking uphill. Basic tool use for simple tasks. And the results? Admiral Lee smiled. Remarkable improvement in emergency response capabilities. Alien crews who complete basic human training show 300% better performance in crisis situations. For example, Dr. Yoon continued, the Nixari rescue team that completed our program successfully evacuated 12,000 civilians during the Kepler station power failure last month. They walked through areas with emergency lighting and managed basic life support systems, Admiral Lee explained. Tasks that would have been impossible before training. President Kim highlighted the next achievement. Joint exploration missions have opened 17 new worlds for colonization and resource extraction. Worlds previously classified as too dangerous? Counselor Zeph asked. Class 9 and 10 Deathworlds, Admiral Lee confirmed. With human crews providing environmental expertise and emergency response, these missions succeed safely. The economic benefits have been substantial, President Kim added. Rare mineral extraction from high-gravity worlds, energy harvesting from radiation-rich systems, and agricultural development on previously unsuitable planets. Speaker Thymus reviewed the economic data. The reports show a 400% increase in galactic resource availability. And that's just the beginning, Dr. Yoon said enthusiastically. We're developing advanced training programs for volunteers who want to work directly with human teams. Advanced training? Counselor Vexhai's rocky form trembled slightly. Environmental adaptation, emergency response, basic survival skills. Nothing dangerous. We modify everything for alien physiology. Admiral Lee showed footage from recent missions. Here you can see a mixed human Nexari team exploring a Class 10 world. The Nexari team members wear protective suits while humans provide direct, environmental interface. The video showed humans walking around a volcanic landscape while their alien partners safely observed from environmental bubbles. Both species worked together to collect samples and establish monitoring equipment. The key, President Kim explained, is complementary capabilities. Humans handle direct environmental challenges, while our alien partners provide advanced technology and analytical expertise. What about the cultural integration concerns? Speaker Thymus asked. Dr. Yoon laughed. That's been the most interesting development. Human recreational activities have become incredibly popular among alien youth. Recreational activities? Modified versions, of course. Climbing walls designed for alien physiology. Team sports with appropriate safety measures. Adventure simulations that provide excitement without actual danger. Young Nexari especially enjoy what they call human games, Admiral Lee added. Tag hide-and-seek treasure hunts, activities that were unimaginable before contact. And human children? They love alien technology and art, Dr. Yoon said. Cultural exchange has been very positive. Human kids are fascinated by alien music, mathematics, and philosophy. President Kim moved to the next topic. Emergency response has been our greatest success story. Human crisis management teams have handled 32 major galactic emergencies this year, such as the Rigel Station atmospheric processor failure, the Tau Ceti mining accident, the Vega system solar flare emergency. Admiral Lee provided details. Human teams coordinate evacuation efforts, manage life support systems under emergency conditions, and provide direct rescue operations in environments too dangerous for other species. The recent example was the Orion Nebula Research Station incident. Dr. Yoon added, a cascade failure left 800 scientists stranded on a Class 12 Deathworld. Human rescue teams established emergency shelters, maintained life support for 72 hours, and evacuated all personnel safely. Admiral Lee reported, no casualties. That rescue operation would have been impossible without human environmental capabilities, President Kim noted. Suddenly, emergency alarms began sounding throughout the council chamber. Speaker Thymus received an urgent communication and his crystalline form began glowing brightly with stress. "Council members," he announced, "we have received word of a galactic-scale emergency. Long-range sensors have detected a massive cosmic storm approaching from the galactic rim. Estimated arrival, 6 months. Cosmic storm?" Councillor Zeff asked. "Unprecedented scale. Radiation levels will exceed safe limits across 40 star systems. Gravitational distortions will disrupt space travel. Electromagnetic interference will destroy most electronic systems." The council chamber erupted in panicked discussions. Representatives frantically contacted their homeworlds while emergency protocols activated across the galaxy. President Kim stood calmly in the center of the chaos. "Speaker Thymus, may I suggest a coordinated response?" "You have a plan?" Speaker Thymus asked hopefully. "We'll need detailed sensor data, population distribution reports, and resource allocation assessments," President Kim said. "Admiral Lee, how quickly can we mobilize our emergency response fleet?" 48 hours for immediate deployment," Admiral Lee replied. "Full-scale mobilization within 2 weeks. Dr. Yoon, can we accelerate the survival training programs?" "Emergency protocols are already prepared," Dr. Yoon confirmed. "We can train basic crisis response skills to essential personnel within 30 days. President Kim addressed the council. "This storm represents exactly the kind of challenge humans evolved to handle. Mass evacuation under hostile conditions, resource management during extended crisis, and adaptation to rapidly changing environments. You're suggesting humans coordinate the galactic response?" Speaker Thymus asked. "Not coordinate alone," President Kim clarified. "Lead the practical response while our alien partners provide technological solutions and logistical support." Admiral Lee activated tactical displays. Human teams can establish emergency shelters on protected worlds, manage evacuation fleets under dangerous conditions, and maintain life support systems during the storm passage. "Our alien partners provide the advanced technology we need," Dr. Yoon added. "Faster-than-light communications, sophisticated sensors, and automated systems. Combined capabilities," President Kim concluded, "just like our successful integration over the past year." Council deliberations lasted for hours, but the decision was unanimous. Humanity would lead the practical crisis response while alien civilizations provided technological and logistical support. Over the following months, the galaxy transformed into a massive emergency response operation. Human teams established evacuation routes through dangerous space, built emergency shelters on marginal worlds, and trained alien populations in basic survival techniques. When the cosmic storm finally arrived, 40 billion beings across 40 star systems survived in conditions that would have been impossible before human integration. Emergency shelters held against radiation levels that exceeded Class 15 Deathworld conditions. Evacuation fleets navigated through gravitational chaos that destroyed normal space travel. After the storm passed, President Kim stood before the Galactic Council once again. "The crisis has demonstrated something important," he said. "Every species brings unique strengths to our galactic community. Humans provide environmental resilience and crisis adaptation. Our alien partners provide technology, wisdom, and cultural richness, and together, we survived conditions that would have destroyed any single species," Admiral Lee added. "The storm has changed everything," Dr. Yoon observed. "Worlds that survived the cosmic storm are now classified as the safest places in the galaxy. What seemed impossible has become our new normal."